Now, call me old-fashioned, but I thought monogamy meant being with just one person at a time in a relationship, but that is not what's been going on here with these supposedly monogamous Humboldt penguins.
No, I mean, Penguin Island is now Scandal Island, rocked by a shocking love triangle. On today's programme, we're going to bring you all the gossip on Rihanna and Peaches as they vie for the attention of the ravishing Redley.
But who will pick who? And more importantly, who's going to come out on top?
Also in today's show, keeper Polly earns her stripes in Africa amongst some very rare zebra.
Seeing them out here in the wild is amazing. It's, yeah, overwhelming.
The park's gorillas give their verdict on a new diet.
Both going for the tomatoes. Well, save some for the others, Avindi.
Videos, that's it.
And we'll reveal how an emu cools off in summer.
When they're that hot, they need to cool down.
Yeah, he's
and
just
this
sat
is the best way
himself
for
right
it.
in there.
Yeah.
Now to Penguin Island. Here, the girls outnumber the boys, and it's causing problems. Penguins don't like being single, and the colony's unsettled. But things are about to change, as some new boys are due to arrive on the island, and they are looking for love. Head of Animal Adventure, Graham, hopes there'll be a big hit with his single ladies.
My aim for the penguin colony is to stabilise it. That's my first goal. So what we're actually going to do is bring in slightly more male penguins than female penguins, and that allows a little bit of competition. It's a little bit of a dating game, and we'll see where we go.
Lucy will be watching out to see if any sparks fly.
You can never guess which penguin will fancy which penguin. Here we have Rihanna and Peaches. They are in a proper love triangle at the moment with Redley, who is sat there all nonchalantly, pretending he's not caused any sort of drama.
With the lack of male competition, Redley is getting away with being a bit of a rogue.
It is a bit of a soap opera. I mean, he will quite happily cheat on his partners and flirt with any available females. So it looks as if he might stick with Rihanna now, but I can never tell with him, so I make no promises. He may well go back to Peaches at a later date. So it's whoever he chooses, really. And hopefully the other one will attach herself to one of our new boys.
There have been several new arrivals in recent months, following last winter's tragedy. Penguin Island became a ghost town after a disease and subsequent infections devastated the colony. Georgia was heartbroken.
I've spent the last 4 years with the penguins, and they're like my children. People do say don't get too attached to animals, but when you're working with them every single day of the year, it's very hard not to.
The deadly disease claimed the lives of 28 penguins, leaving just 6 survivors.
Hi, Matt. Hi, Matt.
It's almost midnight by the time the new penguins arrive. Kat and Georgia are there to welcome them. They've come from a collection in the Czech Republic and are part of the international breeding programme for Humboldt penguins.
We're just going to put them in our hospital unit tonight, and then tomorrow we'll let them out into the exhibit to meet the other penguins. It's exciting to have new penguins, and especially to have some boys as well to mix it up a little bit.
After losing so many birds, the arrival of every new penguin is a joy.
Oh, there we go. Well done, sweetie. After last year and everything that we went through, we didn't think we'd be able to come out the other end happy, but being able to just have the ability to bring new penguins in and start again, it's going to be really exciting. I hopefully introducing the boys, and we'll see some action pretty soon. So we'll come back tomorrow and we'll see how they've done overnight.
It's the morning after the night before. Merlin, Hugo, Maverick and Clive are about to get a first glimpse of their new home.
So should we let them out?
Yep.
Yeah. Good, darling. There we go.
Come on then.
Hey, guys.
A little bit more nervous. They've been in a car for almost 24 hours. which for anyone is going to be stressful, let alone when they don't know what's happening.
Redley's nosing. He's like, what's going on?
Yeah, you're about to get some new boys, mate.
We'll see how they get on today. It will be quite interesting because if they want a girlfriend or the girl wants that boyfriend, you know, they're going to get it, whether it's over fighting or love. Penguins, come on!
Taking the first plunge in love, or indeed cold water, is never easy. So Lucy tries to tempt them towards the pool with some fish.
Amazing.
Clever boy.
Maverick was born with a wing condition.
It's quite noticeable as he's the one with only no bottom half of his wings. We're not going to discriminate, so we've taken him, and hopefully he's a very friendly penguin, and also he's good at wooing the ladies.
They've got very much a little pack mentality, so as soon as one jumps in the water, the others will follow straight away. All it will take is one to take the plunge, and then all of them will follow. That's it, go on! Well done! Yes! Finally! Oh, they're in, and that's all that matters. Our next hurdle will be introducing our original colony to them and seeing how they all get on with one another. So we just need to wait and see whether they take a liking to any of the girls, really.
We'll be back later to find out if any of our penguins have found love.
Caring for animals like giraffe and zebra is a year-round job, every day, whatever the weather. And the keepers that look after their particular animals quickly become experts in those animals and what is best for their care. But of course, the ultimate experience for these guys is seeing the animals they know so well here out in the wild.
All this week, we've been following 5 of the park's keepers visiting a project supported by British charity the Tusk Trust, as they carry out in-depth research to bring back to the park. Lewa Conservancy in northern Kenya leads the way in animal conservation, providing 250 square kilometres of protected land for endangered wildlife. Today, zebra keeper Polly will have the unique opportunity to compare the behaviour of the zebra there with those in her care.
I'm looking forward to seeing giraffe and zebra and all the animals I look after. It'll be nice to see that, yeah, our animals are behaving as naturally as possible. It'd be nice to see that out in the wild.
Lewa is home not only to her zebra's wild cousins, but also to a rare and endangered species called the Grevy zebra. The Grevy's plight is of major concern to Mike Watson, head of the Lewa Conservancy.
We have 1,200 plain zebra, common zebra, 300 Grevy zebra being critically endangered and only really occurring in this part of Kenya. There's only 2,500 left in the world, and we've got 300 here on Lewa.
The main reason Grevy's numbers have reduced so dramatically is because of habitat loss.
The conflict between human settlement, between domestic livestock and wildlife, competition for grazing, competition for water in particular. That loss has been a critical issue, and so what we've done is we provided a habitat in which they can start to recover.
Lewa is at the front line of wildlife conservation in Africa. Mary is one of the research officers dedicated to the daily welfare of the extremely rare Grevy zebra.
Every month we go collecting images of all the animals that we see, then we log in into the database. We are able to see the performance of every individual.
The fine stripes of the Grevy zebra are just like a fingerprint.
With the Grevy zebras, with the unique patterns each animal has, you are able to track through the database.
Mary's job is to check the well-being of each of the 300 zebra by painstakingly cross-checking the new photos with the ones she's taken the month before.
You concentrate on the unique patterns. For example, we've got these 3 patterns here, these 3, and then you check whether in the database the one that the system is imagining it is the one, but for this one it is not.
In this very difficult game of spot the difference, the computer doesn't always get it right.
It is not a true match.
No matter how much technology can aid conservation, the human touch remains vital. Park keepers Polly and James are joining Mary as she heads out into the wild to record this month's Grevy's population.
So we are preparing to start off our monthly patrol for the Grevy zebras on Lewa. We've got GPS that we use to collect the location of that animal.
Are they radio collared? Is that what that is for?
No, it's not radio collared. Just from where we have spotted the animal, you take the GPS location of that spot.
Right.
This is the first time James and Polly have done the challenging work of conservation out in the wild. It's hot and dusty and in rough terrain, but it will provide them with a wealth of information to take back to the park. Unlike the zebra Polly cares for, the animals here can be hunted and killed by lion, leopard or cheetah. At long last, Polly will finally get to observe zebra in their natural habitat.
Seeing them out here in the wild is amazing, and seeing them, the plains mixed with the Grevies is amazing. It's, overwhelming.
In the last 20 years, the total population of the Grevy zebra has declined by 50%.
It's just incredible just to see them in this vastness, just, going about their daily lives. It really is just incredibly powerful just to see them living. It's brilliant.
Now classed as endangered, the Grevy zebra is teetering on the brink of extinction. The World Wildlife Fund estimates that every single year, at least 10,000 species become extinct on our planet.
This is just happening every day, but to us, we don't realise it unless you come out here and see how powerful it is.
Side by side, the difference between the Grevies and the plain zebra is clear, although James needs a little help.
Not being like a zebra expert at all. What's the difference between the two?
The plains have thicker black stripes and wider bands of the white, and then the Grevies, their stripes are a lot closer together and thinner, and they've got a more defined white tummy to them.
Those ears are like plates. They're absolutely massive. Oh yeah, no, it's actually quite distinct when you really look at it.
Although the 300 Grevy zebra are doing well, unlike back at the park, survival in the wild is tough. Of the recent 51 newly born foals, only 12 have survived.
So our survival rates are very low.
So we've got a few foals out here now. What are their kind of chances of surviving? Because obviously we're out in the wild, we don't want to stop lions doing what they do, but we don't want to stop the zebras from growing in their population numbers. So with the few that are there, what are their chances?
Because we've got carnivores, we've got lions, we've got cheetahs, hyenas. So if they are killed by the predators, we accept it is nature.
Do you get upset about them?
Well, you don't get upset, you get emotional to see a dead Grevy zebra, but it's nature.
Polly can't help compare the difference between the zebra here and those from home.
It is weird to think our zebra, even though obviously they keep their instincts and they are alert all the time, but they don't have to worry about
predators.
No, whereas I've got a zebra that's 23. If Stephanie was out here, I'm not sure she'd last long at all.
Back at the lodge, Polly reflects on Mary's dedicated study of the zebra.
I think Mary is a very inspiring person. She's so passionate about what she does that talking to her was wonderful, and the information she gave, it just opened my eyes. I didn't realise that Grevy zebra was so endangered.
Overall, it's been a very emotional, rather overwhelming experience for Polly.
being out here, it's more than just seeing the animals. It's about learning how they're conserving not just one species, they're conserving the whole ecosystem. And I felt overwhelmed by the animals we'd seen, the beauty of the landscape. It makes me feel inspired and just pass it on to the rest of the keepers and onto our visitors as well.
As the seasons change, making sure the park's animals get a varied diet as they would in the wild is essential. And the keepers do their best to keep the diners happy.
It is a very exciting moment. Not only am I about to meet the park's 3 Western Lowland gorillas for the very first time, but I'm going to help keeper Lauren here with a feed that has a difference. Tell me a bit about this feed.
So we've put 3 different types of feed out today. We've got some kale, some celery and some tomatoes.
And you've divided them all up as part of an experiment, is this right?
Yeah, we just want to see what their favourite one is at this time of year.
Are we going to let them all out at the same time? Who's going to come out first?
I think what we should do is we should let the 2 young boys out first so they can have a look and see what their favourite is. And then what we'll do is we'll let our silverback out so he can come out and he can get his fair share.
OK, I'm pretty excited about this. Should we let them out?
Should we do it?
Let's do it. Who's that?
So this is Alfie.
Oh.
And that's Avindi close behind him.
Aren't they magnificent? Oh. Oh, straight for the kale.
Straight for the kale, yeah.
Kale.
Seen it all, and then what's he running for?
Look, they're both going for the tomatoes. Well,
Avindi definitely preferred the tomatoes then, didn't he?
Avindi. Hey, save some for the others, Avindi.
This is kind of how gorillas feed. They're very opportunistic, so they will just grab and run if they need to.
Now, why experiment with different diets? I can understand about seasonality and things, but is it quite important that you know what they like and what they dislike?
Yeah, I mean, what we like to do in the house is whenever we move them around the house, we like to give them a little reward. So if we ask them to come into a pen, we like to give them a positive reinforcement that they've done what we've asked and it's a nice experience for them. So if we kind of know what they prefer, it's a lot easier to move them around the house.
Now, where's our big silverback?
Should we let him out as well? This is Keisho.
Keisho.
Yeah, our 18-year-old silverback.
Big, isn't he?
Big difference in size.
Wow, he has a swagger.
He does, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a typical silverback stance. Just make yourself look as big as possible, more threatening to the other males.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why Alfie's kind of grabbed as much as he can, and he probably will move off and keep that in a quiet corner somewhere.
So will Alfie hide it behind his back?
Yep.
Oh, look, so he's chasing, yeah. Isn't that amazing? So he is the dominant one, and he gets his pick of the food.
Yeah, I mean, it seems quite mean, but it is a totally natural gorilla behaviour. He is a lot bigger, so he needs a lot more food.
And now who have we got climbing up the tree? Very agile.
Yeah, that's Alfie, yeah.
Alfie's showing off. Why would he be going up there? I mean, look, he's going to the highest point. Is that just to get a good view?
Probably getting a good look at us, actually, to see if we've got anything else for him.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
He wants to see if there's a bucket with more tomatoes in it.
Yeah. The thumb is actually set back, so it is more like a hand, and that is for climbing and also for grabbing as much food as they can in case the silverback comes over to take it, they'll run with it.
And their absolute favourite, if you really need them to do anything, what's the
definitely
carrot?
Bananas, yeah.
Bananas.
So we try and limit how many they get. So they get 1 or 2 a day each.
I mean, they are incredible to look at, aren't they? Do you ever tire of looking at these boys?
No, never, no. I love them. I mean, we spend so much time with them that it's so hard not to fall in love with them.
Lauren, thank you so much. Thank you, guys. There you go. The way to a gorilla's heart is with a tomato.
The gorillas are just 3 of 1,000 different animals that all have specific dietary requirements. The need for menu reinvention never ends. Jean's now off to help keeper Nadia serve up a completely different tasting menu to the prickly customers over at the Porcupine enclosure.
What do you have here?
Today we are going to try them with some pears and some sweet potato. It's something that they don't have particularly often, and they never really have their food whole. So it'll be a little bit different for them.
Well, we've had a few bits and pieces for them, so let's call them out.
Brussels sprouts!
We've got some treats for you. I think he's found something.
Oh yeah, you can see his nose and his whiskers moving as he's having a good old sniff around.
He's really working.
Yeah. There he goes, he's right in there, he's absolutely loving it.
Well done.
Pushing it all out of the way, no fear.
So what's he using it? Is that... Oh, he's grabbed it in his mouth.
These guys are rodents, so they've got really big front teeth. So those front teeth can come and just grasp lots of big chunks of food, and they'll take them away. So you'll see with Sprout that he's just taking the peel off of the potato before he eats all the juicy good stuff inside, so that's quite nice.
Fussy eaters.
Yeah.
So she managed it, the pear's down.
Excellent work. She's just going to wander off. Take it off with her into the corner over there, I expect, away from Sprout before he finishes his potatoes.
So we've seen a bit of both today. We've seen them picking some things up off from the ground, getting right inside the grass there, and going high up for that pear as well. So I think that was a really successful taste and sensory test.
Yeah, I think so.
Over on Penguin Island, the keepers are hoping for love. Since last year's malaria outbreak, there's been no pitter-patter of penguin feet. But now 4 new boys have arrived to spice things up. To encourage the colony to start breeding, keeper Emma is preparing the nest boxes.
We're trying to make it nice and comfortable so they actually come over themselves and want to make it their own a little bit more. The males will bring in nest material. It's always the males that pick the nest boxes, so they'll pick the best ones. They'll pick various things, so obviously this grassy stuff here. They'll bring twigs in, they'll bring stones in, make it all really lovely, ready for the females to lay the eggs. It will be really exciting if we do have some more eggs and we do get some more chicks.
Merlin, Hugo, Maverick and Clive haven't paired up with anyone yet. But their arrival does seem to have had an effect on commitment-shy Redley. This 2-timer has become a one-bird guy. But I'm afraid it's an all-too-predictable tale. He's traded in his ex, Peaches, for a younger model, Rihanna. Emma has a theory.
Peaches and Redley have been together for a good 2 or 3 years now. They have also had eggs together as well, and they've always seemed to have got bored, and then they've left the eggs, and then of course the eggs have got cold, and chicks have never emerged, so they're not particularly good parents. So that could be one of the reasons why he's decided to maybe find a different female penguin. If Redley and Rihanna successfully rear chicks together, that will bond their relationship, and they should then stay together for life.
A few days later, great news. Redley and Rihanna have taken up residence in one of the nest boxes. And the couple that bray together stay together. This display strengthens their bond as well as advertising the fact they're a happy couple. But Redley's ex, Peaches, is left on the shelf.
Peaches has spent basically the whole morning following Redley around. She still hasn't quite come to terms with the fact that he's clearly gone off with another female and doesn't want her around anymore. She's followed him up to their nest, but if she gets too close, it doesn't matter that they used to be partners, he will attack her. And if Rihanna's at the front, then she really needs to move pretty sharpish, because Rihanna won't. There'll be no holds barred when it comes to a nest. They will attack each other and try and get anyone away from their nest.
Redley's sticking with Rihanna. A reluctant Peaches takes the lonely path towards a new single life.
It is a little bit heartbreaking because they do mourn. They do notice the loss of another. Peaches hasn't been herself for a while. She is quite quiet. Won't run around with the other penguins, doesn't really want much attention from us. She just wants to sit in a corner by herself.
Redley and Rihanna spent the next few days in domestic bliss, preparing the nest, getting every twig just so. Then, Keeper Georgia spots that they've produced not just one egg, but 2.
I'm really excited they're on the nest. If they're incubating properly, it shows signs that they're probably going to be good parents as well, so fingers crossed they're doing a good job.
Incubation takes around 40 days. Both parents should share the nesting duties 50-50, with one looking after the eggs while the other goes to feed. Redley and Rihanna seem to be doing well at taking it in turns. The eggs are due to hatch any day now. Over at Animal Adventure, senior keeper Kim has some new arrivals to introduce to Jean.
Who have we got here? These are one of my brand new favourites. These guys are called Horsehead grasshoppers.
Horsehead grasshoppers, right. I've not seen one of them before. Can we get one out to get a closer look?
Yeah. So these guys are from Peru, Ecuador, Brazil, those sort of areas. And they look a bit like stick insects. But they
look a bit like a twig, actually.
It
was very camouflaged in there.
That's the idea. So they'll hang around on the edges of the rainforest, eating just leaves.
So we've got our special cameraman Geoff here. He's
Wonderful.
in charge of our special lens, and this is going to let you see the horsehead grasshopper really close up. Oh, Kim, it looks like we've got one feeding.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Look at that. They are such a comedy-looking insect. They're so funny.
Look at them.
It's almost alien-like. What a strange little face.
Horsehead grasshoppers, obviously, because they've got
I
a
see
long
where
face.
that comes from, yeah,
So-
very long face. And what's going on down here? This is the mouth area. What, is there a lip there?
Not overly. They've got mandibles, so their mouths sort of open up sideways as opposed to sort of up and down like us. And they'll sort of munch sideways along the leaf. That is just so cool. You can see, obviously, where her eyes are quite high up on her head, so parts of the mandible obviously let her know where the food is. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see
She's just
little
feeling along with the
feelers
side
there,
of it.
yeah. So she's not using her eyes to see that food at all.
no.
It's those feelers that show her where
Yeah.
the leaf is. And she takes her time as well, just nibbling from one side to the other.
Yeah, that is amazing. Look at that. And then the back legs, they are absolutely enormous, and that's just the immense power that they can then jump sort of 20 times the length of their body.
So you enjoyed seeing those adaptations
That's
up
so
close?
cool. That is so cool.
There are lots of weird and wonderful animals here on the park, but this is one of my favourites.
Definitely.
The park is home to over 25 varieties of bird, many of which mix freely, just as they would in the wild. And over in Africa, head of animal operations Darren is able to observe some of their wild counterparts at the local watering hole.
You know, it's a nice quiet little oasis, and so I think here there's some lovely birds here. We have some sacred ibis. It'd be interesting to see how many different species we can see, because it's always great to get some ideas and add to ours. My Egyptian geese, we won't be getting any of those.
One of the quieter birds the park is already home to is the spoonbill. And here, just like there, a good wash is essential.
The spoonbill's taking a nice bath. It sounds really daft. You think, why on earth do they need to have a bath? Because they live in water, but they have at least 3 layers of feathers. And what happens is they put a waterproof coating on those and a dust, and so you do get dirty. If you're a bird, you get dirty, and you need to make sure you get water down there and clean out that grime and that dirt, because your feathers are what are going to save your life one day. You're going to have to fly away from a predator. So the spoonbill's having a really good splash.
Spoonbills get their name from their unusually shaped but very practical beaks.
It's a bit like a duck's bill. It's for filtering. Now they eat obviously small crustaceans and bugs and things, so you'll see what they'll do is they'll put it down into the mud. He uses his paddle end of his beak to sort of sift his way through all the juicy grubs and things. Great design, you know, adaptations to their environment. Nature's got it. It's got it.
Back at the park, the same birds enjoy a very similar environment, which they share with the flamingos.
Oh, and here is spoonbill.
They're just coming over now, yeah. I think they've just spotted the food we've put out for them.
Now, it's the ibis. Is there a hierarchy between them? Do you notice whether, you know, the spoonbills being slightly bigger or...?
No, I'd say the ibis, because there's more of them. They're a bit of a mob.
Right.
And the spoonbill are kind of a bit more sneaky with it. They'll just sneak in and they grab a bit and they run off to the water's edge.
Yeah, these birds, are they omnivorous or are they quite fussy about what they
They
eat?
mainly fish, crustaceans, insects.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're very opportunistic. Whatever they kind of find in the waters, they'll have a go at.
They're not going to be fussy.
Yeah.
They're such elegant birds,
They are
aren't
pretty,
they?
aren't they? Yeah,
Really
especially when they get
pretty.
into breeding season as well. They get a really nice red head and red knees, so that, yeah, they look really smart.
Can you get attached to birds in the same way that, I don't know, other keepers get attached to the
Definitely,
mammals?
yeah. I mean, I came here to work with gorillas, but I love the birds so much. The best thing about my job is helping the birds breed and watching them have babies is one of the best parts of the job, really. They are the best parents, some of them.
Are they?
Yeah, and it's so amazing just watching all the effort they put in, making the nests and looking after the eggs. And sometimes you'll see mammals and they just don't look that bothered, but birds, they really care.
Now the spoonbills have come
Here
back
they are,
round here to see us.
Seeing what the flamingos have got instead, I think. I think because we've only got a few, they like to hang out in the big group of flamingos as well.
Sort of safety in numbers.
Yeah.
Hang out with their pink
Yeah.
mates.
We get a lot of questions whether the spoonbill are actually baby flamingos, so we have to explain that. Actually, no, they're completely different birds, and best way to tell them apart is by the beaks.
Is by the beaks.
Yeah.
Well, it's always a joy to be here and to see them. And I know breeding season is kind of about to start.
Yeah, best
isn't
time
it?
of the year.
Yeah. So I hope it goes really well.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lauren.
Caring for an animal's needs in captivity can really be informed by observing those in the wild. Back in Kenya, the research project continues. Inspired by the work at Lewa Conservancy, keeper Polly has arranged to carry out a unique test of her own in order to get a vital indication as to how similar her zebra are to those in the wild.
I'm just about to do an ethiogram on one of the plains zebra that are out here. Someone back at the park is doing an ethiogram on one of our plain zebras at home.
An ethogram is the timed observation of the behaviour of one animal.
The reason we want to do this is so we can compare the wild zebra behaviour with our captive zebra behaviour to see if there's any differences and similarities.
This study is incredibly important for the keepers. It will reveal where the park is going right with their care of the zebra and, crucially, where they could improve.
Every minute we're going to record the exact behaviour that the one zebra that I'm picking to focus on, what that zebra's doing at that time.
Every minute for the next hour, Polly will note the behaviour of a chosen zebra, and it's fellow keeper Kat's job to keep time.
So I need to pick a zebra I can tell apart really from the others. I think I was going to go for the female that's got that little foal.
Yeah. Polly will be on the lookout for a range of behaviours, such as fighting or biting or being startled.
And she's grazing.
I think we're going to have a fair bit of grazing, to be honest.
But Polly has noticed more than just grazing.
There's a few times where she's looked up and she's been alert, just looking out for any predators, just having a look what's going on.
This is a groundbreaking study for the keepers. But for it to work, back at the park, keeper Tina must carry out the same observational ethogram with a zebra there.
I'm hoping to get similar behaviours because it means us as keepers are doing a good job, which isn't just about giving them food or providing them water, it's about providing them with an environment that encourages them to do natural behaviours like grazing, running around, living in a herd.
One of the problems of captive animal management can be with fighting males.
Sometimes we might have to move them on because too many males, they will fight, and that's what they do. They grow up, they want to become stallions themselves, they want to become breeding males.
Tina wants to focus on the stallion in the herd.
We're looking for Martyr stallion, who I believe is just at the back over there.
As Tina begins her timed observation, what will their joint research reveal?
It'd be brilliant to find out from Polly what exactly the zebras out there in Africa are currently doing, and my hope is that we will see exactly the same behaviours in our herd here.
But back in Kenya, halfway through her time study, Polly's got problems.
The one that I picked with the stripe that I thought I'd be able to pick out, it's really hard to see now. All the zebra have started to move away. You've got them all mingling together, so they're all stripes are all blending.
Okay, that's you.
Time's up. Polly must hear back from the park before she'll know just what the test reveals. While she waits, she has the opportunity to fully appreciate where she is.
It definitely is just a moment where we can just sit and feel peaceful and just take it all in and watch the animals for a little while is really nice as well.
Well, it's lovely to actually have that bit of tranquility and that bit of downtime. An incredible experiences is it's really lovely. It's really nice.
Back at the park, in the emu enclosure, Jean has arranged to help keeper Gemma with bath time.
Hi, Gemma.
Hi, Jean.
Hi, are you preparing this for the emus?
I sure am, yeah. It's a lovely day today.
Yeah, perfect. I've never met them before. What's their names?
So we have Biscuit, Bounty and Buttons.
Good names. And I have to say, looking at them, they really remind me of the ostrich. The neck's not as long, obviously.
No, they are very closely related to the ostrich. Just the ostrich is a lot taller.
It's bath time,
It
right?
is bath
and I hear
time,
that they love water.
They do love water. Naturally, they would swim. They can swim.
Really?
They're very, very good swimmers.
That surprises me. I thought they were sort of known for being fast runners.
No, that as well. They've got everything, but sadly, we don't have a swimming pool here for them, so it's their pond.
Yeah, this is bath time
This
for
is
them,
it.
so
It
let's
is,
get them over. One of my favourite things about being on the park is the calls you've got for all the animals, so let's hear this one.
Okay, so if I do the first one, you can then call them in as well.
Okay, I'll give it a go, yeah.
Okay, so here comes Buttons now, look, but it's Emu!
There he is.
That's it, there you go.
And on a hot day like this, there's nothing better than having a dip and a nice bath, is there?
Exactly, and it's just the same for these guys. When they're that hot, they need to cool down.
Yeah, he's
and
just
this
sat
is the best way
himself
for
right
it.
in there.
Yeah.
There you go, Buttons. And what about these beautiful feathers? Is it okay to get them wet?
It's absolutely fine to get them wet, yeah. I mean, they're designed for all weathers. So they dry off very, very quickly. So the wetter, the better. Under all those feathers, they've got some very, very hot skin.
And they originate from Australia, so they'd be used to pretty high temperatures.
Oh, yes, yeah, definitely. But they do tend to stay quite near water in case of predators and things like that. So if they do need to get away, then they can swim.
Oh, she's having a little swim
a little roll around
there,
there,
a little
yeah.
splash in the pool. She's really enjoying it.
She loves it.
Can I have a go?
Of course you can, yeah.
They're loving this, and I'm really enjoying it too. Almost as much fun as bath time at home.
In Africa, Polly has been conducting a study of Lewa's wild zebra, while back at the park, Tina has been doing the same thing with their captive zebra, hoping to see if their behaviours match.
I'm really interested to hear what Tina's found from her study. It'd be nice to know that our zebra are comfortable displaying the same behaviour as their wild counterparts do.
Tina's finally ready to phone through with her results.
Hello.
Hi, Teen. Which zebra did you decide to do
for your echinogram?
I went for Marty, our stallion.
Okay.
Admittedly, I did lose track of the female towards the end.
I got a little confused when they all got a bit mixed up.
What were your kind of results? I had a lot of grazing.
Yeah, there was quite a lot of grazing. So he's just doing his usual pottering about, grazing and just relaxing in the sunshine.
I only had a couple of times where the female I was looking at was looking up and being alert.
But generally, they're all really relaxed.
Yeah, it was quite relaxed here.
So the tests confirm the park is getting things right.
It's nice that they seem to be doing the same as what I saw in our wild zebras out here. I was surprised that the ones out here were so relaxed, because I'd assumed that there'd be a lot more head up, looking round, making sure everything was safe, but they just seemed really, really chilled out, which was nice to see.
I always think, you know, our guys, you know, we always just think they are just quite relaxed because they know they're safe, they know we're here to look after them.
But the fact that out there in Africa, they're doing exactly the same, really, which is brilliant.
Generally, good result, really.
All right, Polly, I'll let you get on.
Thanks, team, bye. That was good that we kind of got the same behaviours as their wild cousins. That's fantastic to kind of know that. It did make me miss our zebra. And every zebra I'm seeing, I'm comparing them to our zebra. I'm seeing marks that in their stripes that I think, oh, that looks like Kabibi, or oh, that one looks like Marty. So I do love it here, but it will be nice to see our zebras when I get home.
It's nearly the end of the show, but before we left, Kate and I could not resist coming back to Scandal Island with Keeper George. Rihanna and Redley, are they still together?
They are together now, so Peaches has lost out, I'm afraid.
Oh no! So, I mean, is Redley proving a reasonably monogamous partner, or is he still behaving badly on the side?
If he's not on the nest, he does go and see Peaches for a little chat and a catch-up.
Shocking!
Yeah.
Really?
But Peaches has been having some luck as well.
Well, I was going to ask,
Yeah.
you know, because Peaches, she does deserve love, doesn't she?
Yeah.
And so has she found somebody?
Merlin, one of our new penguins,
Yeah.
he's going up and making himself known to Peaches.
Oh, yeah?
So fingers and toes crossed. That,
And how's she responding to Merlin's sort of, you know, courtship?
It does depend what mood she's in a day, yeah.
George, I love this idea that you and all the staff here, all the keepers, sit in the staff room with your cups of tea, just talking about the penguin gossip.
It is. It's like a soap, watching the soap every day. It's not something new.
Lucky
yeah.
you.
Well,
Dramas.
let's hope there's the pitter-patter of tiny flippers sometime
Very exciting,
soon. But
hopefully.
George, thank you very much, and well dealt with this very complicated love triangle.
It is.
Sadly, that's all we've got time for on today's show, but here's what's coming up on the next Animal Park.
Amy's on the trail of lions in the wild,
Seeing wild lion footprints, that's amazing.
while Bug Boy James is all about things that go buzz in the night.
The huge variety of different species is just insane.
And an escapee, a few days old but already running away from home. One very naughty little oryx.
She's out.